What would happen if animals and humans could have a real conversation? What would conversations be like with animals? Today we will discuss what life would be like if humans and animals can communicate. If animals could talk, the world would be much more noisier than it already is. If you really think about it, all the birds, squirrels running around, dogs, cats would all be talking. Just imagine the daily fights between a dog and a cat. If animals had the ability to speak, they would be very intelligent. If animals were intelligent like us, they would probably have their own societies. They would probably think that humans are their enemies and they have to rise up against us. And they would probably win because there are way more animals than humans. If animals could talk, they would be the best companion. Perhaps they would no longer be considered pets. Dogs are unimaginably faithful. Not all companions would consistently have somebody to trust in. They would have the option to tell us what they need and how they feel. If animals were as intelligent as us, we would not train them. We would raise them as we would our kid. If animals can talk, that raises the question, would animals have rights? There are already some initiatives that exist to extend legal rights to chimpanzees. All animals would have rights. If animals could talk, animal abuse rate would go down. It would be difficult to hurt an animal who is pleading for their life. There would be no such things as zoos, circuses, or even animal parks. If all the humans visit zoos and aquariums in order to have some sort of interaction, animals will be able to communicate with us. It will be difficult to keep them in the cages. Interactions with animals in zoos will become very hard to experience and will no longer be a source of entertainment, hearing how miserable animals are being trapped in a cage. Australian philosopher Dean once said if animals could talk, we would not understand them, meaning animals likely have a completely different understanding of life than humans do. Normally, animals communicate using signals, which can include visual, auditory, or sound-based chemical, involving or tactile touch-based cues. Communication behaviors can help animals find mates, establish dominance, defend territory, coordinate group behavior, and care for young. Researchers say that animals, non-humans, do not have a true language like humans. However, they do communicate with each other through sounds and gestures. Animals have a number of inborn qualities that they use to signal their feelings, but these are not like the formed words we see in the human language. Animals generally communicate using 4 methods: visual, auditory, tactile, and chemical. Some species rely more on one form of communication over another. However, all various methods to show affection, ward off threats, or attract a mate. Elephants communicate with infrasound. These sounds are so low that humans can only feel it.
Infrasound, sounds with frequencies below 20 Hz, which is the lower limit of what humans can hear. This lets elephants communicate across incredibly long distances through these vibrations in the air and ground.
Visual communication may include gestures, facial expressions, and body postures, like gibbons. Most other primates use visual communication. For example, chimpanzees communicate a threat by raising their arms, slapping the ground, or staring directly at another chimpanzee. Animals often use chemical communication to mark territory. They leave pheromones or chemical marks behind. Some animals leave scent posts to mark their territory. The male mountain lion often kicks up piles of pine needles, dirt, or leaves with its hind feet and urinates on the pile to mark its territory. Animals like bats, dolphins, shrews, some whales, and some birds all use sound echolocation to see in the dark. This is similar to the game Marco Polo. If animals could talk, we would be able to communicate with our pets. Animals would be able to help us when they get lost by telling us where they live. An animal that talked could ask for what they need. Being able to speak to our pets would make them easier to understand. If animals could talk, then they could think, meaning they would create their own gods, and would never stop preaching about their God, which is their one true God. So now the question is on you. What would you talk to animals about? Who would you talk to? Would you talk to your pets? Would you go outside and find random animals to talk to? Let us know in the comments. Maybe you should go to your pet right now and try to start a conversation. Who knows? And thank you.